Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jai Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai. Lalita Vishaka Jaya Radhe Sham, Lalita Vishaka Jaya Radhe Sham. Jai Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Jai Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Nitai go Haribo, 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 Nitai go Haribo. Shri Krishna Janmashtami ke, Shri Prabhupada ke, Tai Gau Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Om Jnana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistang Stapitang Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dedati Svapadantikam. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. In the 10th canto, beginning on the 3rd chapter, when the Lord appeared, just such a beautiful description. I thought I'd read the description of how things became by the Lord's potency. Thereafter, at the auspicious time for the appearance of the Lord, the entire universe was surcharged with all the qualities of goodness, beauty, and peace. We'll start again. Please listen. Thereafter, at the auspicious time for the appearance of the Lord, the entire universe was surcharged with all the qualities of goodness, beauty, and peace. The constellation Rohini appeared, as did stars like Ashvini. The sun, the moon, and the other stars and planets were very peaceful. All directions appeared extremely pleasing, and the beautiful stars twinkled in the cloudless sky, decorated with towns, villages, mines, and pasturing grounds. The earth seemed all auspicious. The rivers flowed with clear water, and the lakes and vast reservoirs, full of lilies and lotuses, were extraordinarily beautiful. In the trees and green plants, full of flowers and leaves, pleasing to the eyes, birds like cuckoos and swarms of bees began chanting with sweet voices for the sake of the demigods. A pure breeze began to blow, pleasing the sense of touch and bearing the aroma of flowers. And when the Brahmanas engaging in ritualistic ceremonies ignited their fires according to Vedic principles, the fires burned steadily, undisturbed by the breeze. Thus, when the birthless Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was about to appear, the saints and Brahmanas, who had always been disturbed by demons like Kansa and his men, felt peace within the core of their hearts. And kettle drums simultaneously vibrated from the upper planetary system. Everyone's welcoming the Supreme Lord, the demigods, Mother Earth, favorable breezes, the flowers and the sunshine, and everything became aligned perfectly, obviously because the Supreme Lord, out of his kindness, is appearing in this material world. So Krishna, he's Bhoktarang Jagatapasang Sarvaloka Maheshwarang Suhridang Sarabhutanam Gyatva Mam Shanti Richtati. He creates everything. Just like in this world, the government also has a prison house. And also in the prison house are citizens, but these are the not law-abiding citizens. These are the persons who are not following the rules and regulations. So in the spiritual world, Vaikuntha Loka, Goloka Vrindavan, there's unlimited living entities, Nitya Siddha devotees, serving as servants, as friends, as parents, Madhurya, and loving as lovers. So Krishna has unlimited pastimes with unlimited living entities. And for us to try to understand the depth of Krishna's creation, the purpose behind it. So he expands himself as Lord Balaram, and Balaram is Krishna himself, but he's Baladev, and also Balabhadra, full of power, full of energy. So the time came, again, Paritranaya Sadhunang Vinashaya Chadushkritam. Although this is happening from universe to universe, repeatedly, and the devotees, when Mother Bhumi was feeling that there was the kings were not properly guiding the citizens and they were abusing their powers, so they went to Mother Bhumi in the form of a cow, went to Lord Brahma And Lord Brahma, along with Lord Shiva and all the demigods, they went to Shweta Dweep, the milk ocean, where Kshirodakshay Vishnu resides. So we're understanding Mahavishnu, then Garbhodakshay Vishnu, then Kshirodakshay Vishnu. Not only do all the incarnations come from Kshirodakshay Vishnu, but he's in the heart of every living being. Sarvasya chahang hridi sana vishto matat smritir jnanam apohanang cha. And from Krishna comes knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. But Krishna doesn't interfere with the independence. In my mind, I'm thinking, why doesn't Krishna just show up and kill all the demons and make all the devotees happy? You know, it could be a nice thing. You know, why not? Just, you see, like a hypnotist, he can hypnotize. But Krishna, he performs many superhuman transcendental activities simultaneously and allowing the independence of each individual, which he loves. Krishna, it's not that, oh, there are so many sons and daughters that he's lost count, he lost track. Krishna has that unlimited potency to dance with every single gopi in the rasa dance. And every gopi is thinking, he's with me, he's paying attention, which men don't usually do. But, you know, Krishna, he pays attention. He pays attention to the mood and the loving exchange of the gopis and the cowherd boys and Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. So that it was becoming difficult. And of course, Kamsa, Jai and Vijay, the whole Bhagavatam is full of mystery and stories and history. And all of that because we've misused our independence out of envy, lusty, jealousy. We don't know how can a pure soul have these colored inferior qualities. How is that possible? It's forgetfulness, this spirit of enjoyment. Just like the criminal, they think I'm above the law. I don't have to follow rules and regulations. I don't care for the government. But then when they're captured by the government agents, the Yamadutas or the policemen, and put in jail, or the hellish planets, or even the heavenly planets, or the middle planets, every living being, whether you're a god, a man, a beast, a plant, everything has life. That Jivatma is eternally existing, and the body does not have a separate existence. It's not like the body can exist like zombies with no soul, that the mechanism of when a child is born dead, it does not grow, it fades, it withers. Everybody is born, they grow, they produce byproducts, they dwindle, wither away, and die. Just like a fruit that may fall down, you see, it becomes rotten. So everything in this material world is like that. It's a reflection of the spiritual world. There's hopes of happiness. Everyone is looking for that happiness without distress. So Krishna was preaching that karma amongst the philosophy to Nanda Maharaj when they were all ready to serve or to worship Indradev for providing the rains and providing all the necessities. Krishna was saying, no need to worship the gods. You work honestly, you work hard, and by your hard work, destiny will give you your results. So everyone in this world is thinking, scientists, philosophers, education, those politicians and people who are thinking to make a better life, you work hard, make money, and you'll be happy. But since time immemorial, no one solved the problem. Birth, old age, disease, and death, and no interest in spiritual life. So that happens. People are distracted by the intense desire to enjoy in this material world, and they make all kinds of arrangements thinking that this partner is the right partner, and this family situation is good, or this country is good, that country is bad. This situation, it's like punak punas charvita charvit nanam. We're chewing the chewed again and again and again. And so Krishna again and again appears not only in this universe, but in every universe, and performing various pastimes, and various incarnations of the Lord are there. For what purpose? For the purpose of recalling us and attracting us. It's like, why does Lord Chaitanya sing Jeev Jago, Gauda Chandra Bole? He's saying, wake up, sleeping souls. How long you'll sleep in the lap of the witch called Maya? So that Maya is the contaminated mind, the, the servant of the senses, and the servant of lusty desires to try to enjoy this world separate from Krishna. So Krishna's Kamsa got a word. He said he's driving the chariot of Vasudeva and Devaki. They say Devaki is sister, but she's really cousin because Devaka was her father and he was a brother, I guess, of Ugrasen. So they were sister cousin. But in India, when say my brother, is that your real brother? Or no, that's my cousin brother. Okay, so anyway, Mother Devaki, sister of Kamsa, and a voice, some divine voice, you fool Kamsa. You're driving the chariot and the eighth child of this woman will kill you. Not exactly what sure how he said it, the voice in the sky. But Kamsa believed from either coming from the gods or from, so immediately he took his sword wanting to kill Devaki. But Vasudeva, in extreme emergency, convinced him that it's not a good idea. You're the emperor, you're the king, and this is your family member, your sister, like your daughter. You should treat her with love and affection. Anyway, don't be so attached to the body. And he gave a little philosophical explanation. Whoever's born in this world is destined to die, and this goes on forever and ever. But Kamsa was not convinced. So even though Vasudeva, he had integrity, he's very honest, upright, saintly personality. So he said, okay, at least for now, save Devaki's life. Whenever any children come, I'll put them in your hands. You take, no problem. So Kamsa thought it would be a good thing since it made sense. Right now, he's not in danger of Devaki. Maybe the children will come, they will not come. But due to bad association, even though sometimes Kamsa becomes convinced by the good logic and reason by Vasudeva, even Vasudeva brought, was it Kirtan? What was the first child? Kirtiman was the first child. And of course, he had to really control his emotions to bring his firstborn child to Kamsa because he knew what was inevitably going to happen. But Kamsa, he played like a cool demon. Nah, don't worry, I'm not in danger of the first child. You can take him home. And so, but Vasudeva didn't trust him because he was demonic. Then somehow or other, Narada Muni comes in the picture again, and he told Kamsa, listen, all these Vrishnis and all these Yadus, they're all demigods. They've taken birth in these families to wipe out the demons. There's a plan to kill demons. So the demons became very alarmed. They said, okay, let's kill every child newly born in the last 10 days. Imagine how horrible when the government is stopping the brahmanas from performing yagyas, and then all of a sudden, because Kamsa, the king, heard a voice that he's going to be killed, and Narada Muni kind of confirmed that the demigods are disguising and taking birth in all these families. And all the demons convinced Kamsa that, yes, we should be given the permission to kill all the cows because then there's no ghee for performing yagyas. Kill the brahmanas, kill all the sadhus. So this is the mentality, unfortunately, of a demonic civilization. And previously, although Rajarshi was supposed to be a saintly king, I don't know what happened 5,000 years ago, they weren't so saintly, but the idea was, Evang parampara praptang imang rajarshayo vidhu, that this knowledge, which was given to Lord Brahma, the first created being in this universe, according to Darwin and the scientists, the first created beings were simply backward cavemen, couldn't figure things out. And they only appeared some 50,000 years, 100,000 years ago, whatever. Prior to that, human evolution did not get to the point of a human being. So this is all speculation, and basically the idea of Darwin and the scientists, nobody really takes it seriously, but they have no other answer. But Taine Brahma Hrida Adikavaye Muyantiya Suryaha, Krishna Krishna in the heart of Lord Brahma revealed all the Vedic knowledge, revealed the purpose and goal of life, how to achieve the highest perfection in life, meaning how to get out of the prison house of material existence, how to stop the repetition of birth and death. So this very same science is being handed down in Guru Parampara. This is why the first principle of anyone interested in making any spiritual advancement is tad viri pranipatena pariprushnena seva upadekshanti te jnanam jnanas tattva darshana. We were hearing how Krishna and Balaram went to Sandipani Muni and Avanti, Ujjain, and they learned all the arts. And they were very submissive, very humble. Why does the Lord have to be humble to anyone? He's the guru and spiritual master of everyone. But Krishna repeatedly comes, even when he was in Dwarka, he performed worship of himself to show the grahastas how to worship God, how to perform yajna, sacrifice, how to perform activities to bring us back to our normal state of God consciousness, awaken that love for God. We're looking for happiness, but in all the wrong places, because a real happiness, eternal happiness, comes by awakening our love for God. That only comes by devotional service. No amount of austerities, sacrifice, no amount of so-called books, and unless we have devotion and love, yasya deve para bhaktir yata deve tata guru tasyaite katita hyarta prakashante mahatmana. By the grace of Guru and Krishna, all the imports of the Vedas are revealed to one who is a devotee of the Lord. Bhaktya mama bijananti, only by devotional service. So this was the idea. Krishna's appearing. And so when the seventh child, when Devaki was carrying Balaram, Krishna instructed Yogamaya that you take Balaram and put him to the womb of Rohini, who's the other wife of Vasudeva. And so Yogamaya performed that very nicely. And then she was also going to take birth from Yashodama, and Krishna took birth. First of all, appeared in the mind of Vasudeva, from the mind of Vasudeva to the heart of Vasudeva, from the heart of Vasudeva to the heart of Devaki. Instead, Krishna was always in the womb. Krishna's everywhere. So he appeared with 4 hands, full head of hair, Kaustuba jewel, fully decorated, and looked gorgeous, just to prove that there's a Supreme Lord. He even told that previously you were Prishnigarbha from Sutapa and Prishni, and also as Vamanadev from Kashyapa, and now for the 3rd time, as I promised, they performed great austerities and they wanted the Lord to appear. So Krishna ties everything together. Vamanadev again saved the demigods and took the, from Bali Maharaj, and I'm not really sure what Prishnigarbha did. I'm sure there's some story there, but Krishna, he's appearing again for the purpose of reestablishing religious principles. So now the 8th child, Krishna, is in the womb of Devaki. Actually, when appeared in the mind of Vasudeva, he became more brilliant than the sun. No one could even look at him. No one could approach Vasudeva because he was just so brilliant. And Kamsa knew, this is Vishnu. He's going to take birth. And even if I tried to kill him, I couldn't kill him. So then Devaki became also resiliently beautiful, gorgeous, brilliance emanating. But because she was in the prison house, the demigods were appreciating, and Kamsa was in anxiety and understood. But at the time of birth, when Krishna appeared in his forearm form, Vasudeva offered beautiful prayers, showing how he's the Supreme Lord. Whenever all these encounters come, someone meets the Lord, they always praise and such beautiful prayers, his ability for creating and being transcendental to everything. And also Devaki also glorified Krishna beautifully, but she was worried about Kamsa, that motherly love. She requested him become again a child so that Kamsa doesn't come and kill you. Is there an echo? You can shut the echo off. So Krishna, he arranged everything, Yogamaya, everybody fell asleep, all the prison gates opened. Vasudev took baby Krishna, and Balaram took the form of Ananta Shesha. He was protecting because it was raining heavily. Jamuna was over flooded. We may have seen when the rains were pretty heavy, the Jamuna can get pretty flooded. But she gave way for Vasudev and Krishna. Even Krishna dropped, even Vasudev dropped Krishna, and somehow that's a whole pastime. But anyway, ended up in Gokul. And Mother Yashoda and all the inhabitants, the Brijabasis, were all also under the sleep. So Vasudev left Krishna on the lap of Yashoda, and Mahadevi, Yogamaya, came to the prison of Kamsa, and everything got resealed. And all the prisoners heard the baby. They brought it to Krishna, to Kamsa. Sorry. And Kamsa was so fearful. At that last stage, he was always meditating on Krishna, that the eighth child will kill me. And so Kamsa came to smash the baby. He would take them and smash them on the ground and kill them. Just see how cruel the uncle. That's an uncle you don't want to see, coming killing all the babies. No. But again, that was a story too about they were associates of Hiranyakashipu, the Prishnigarbhas. What are they called? The six babies that were killed. This is the whole story of the Maruts. Anyway, this is an incredible pastime of the Lord appearance, and Krishna made all the arrangements. We see how Krishna, by his potency and love for the devotees, his love for the Pandavas, his love for Vasudeva and Devaki, but then coming to the shelter of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, although Nanda Maharaj knew that Balaram was Vasudev's son, but he didn't know that Krishna also was. So Nanda and Yashoda became the foster parents, but they had the great fortune of taking care of Krishna and Balaram in their youth as they're growing and performing their remarkable pastimes. What to speak of mother's love for the child is so intense. And fortunately, we're reading also 10th canto. In the 10th canto, we heard so many beautiful stories about Brahma Mohana Leela, and about Indra getting really upset because Krishna told all the Brijabasis not to, just to worship Govardhan, the cows and the land. This is where real wealth was. Can you imagine, just by agriculture alone, by ghee, by milk, in trading, they had jewelry, they had a beautiful clothing, nice colorful stuff. And they were all decorated in so many wonderful ways that Nanda, Vasudeva in his mind gave away 10,000 cows in charity to the Brahmanas on the birth of Krishna. But Nanda Maharaj performed the yajna in giving cows which were decorated with gold and jewelry and beautiful cloth, and all the Brahmanas and all the people, all the different assistants were nicely taken care of, all from agriculturalists. You might think these are poor people living on the land, just taking care of cows, but they were fabulously wealthy. They had everything. By taking care of the cows and taking care of the agriculture, following what Krishna describes as a perfect lifestyle, then all the necessities were supplied, jewels and everything they needed. So Krishna's appearance in this material world is being celebrated all over the world by many cultures. And there are so many books and so much literature written about, just Srimad Bhagavatam alone, Bhagavad Gita, and all the great acharyas. Arjuna says, Parang Brahma, Parang Dhamma, Pavitrang, Paramang Bhavang, Purusham, Shashvatam, Divyam, Adi Devma, Jambibhum. He's saying Vyasa Dev, Devava, Narada, all the great rishis, they claim you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Janmad, Yasya, Yaton, Vayaditaratashteshu, Vigyasurat. From Krishna, everything is coming, everything is emanating. And it's very detailedly, scientifically, logically explained, but one needs the interest. Otherwise, you won't see it. There was one children's game. They say you have to find somebody in a. There's all kinds of what that the finding that one children's book. There's all kinds of things going on. You have to find a certain personality within this complex drawing. So the material world is very, very complex. And according to one's desires, one follows a certain mode. Either he becomes, follows dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Some religious faith would be there, whether one is Hindu, Jewish, Muslim, Christian. These are designations. And by following the rules and regulations of scripture, they feel they'll have good wealth, good health, and economic. So, dharma, artha, then kama. If I'm following religious principles, maybe you have to take them outside, huh? Or let him stay in. Oh, he hurt himself. Krishna, Krishna. So by following religious principles, one feels they can develop their economic development for sense gratification. And then when they realize that all the happiness of this world is not good enough, is not going to fulfill that inner desire for love for Krishna. So then they think moksha, liberation. Then there's the impersonalist philosophy that, by meditation, by yajna, by sacrifice, you realize that you're an eternal spirit soul, that everyone is an eternal spirit soul. And then when you achieve perfection, we become one. We all become one unit, no more individuality. But ours is a Chincha Beta Beta Tattva, that we're eternal spirit soul, but we're covered by the mind, we're covered by the body, the intelligence, and the false ego. Anyone have a false ego? No. The false ego is there. We think ourselves, we're very special. We're all very special people. And most people feel that their logic and way of thinking is the most practical, and everyone else is just really misdirected by their contaminated mind and intelligence. But the idea is, in order to purify the mind and purify the intelligence and get divya gyan, spiritual knowledge, we need to surrender to Guru. And the reason for surrender is that because of our pride and because of our ego, thinking that why I have to surrender to God, why do I need to bow down, or follow it? I can do things on my own. It's humiliating. I have to bow down in front of somebody. But when one understands Jivara Swarupoy Krishna Nitya Das, that I'm the eternal servant of Krishna and Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha, he's a supreme controller, the supreme being. He's full of knowledge, full of bliss in eternity. We also have these qualities, just like a piece of gold is as good as the gold mine. A drop of salt water has the same content as the ocean in salt content. So we're also eternal living entities. We're not temporary, meant for disease and death. That's for the body, identification with the body. So Krishna, he appeared and spoke Bhagavad Gita. He said, I spoke the same knowledge millions of years ago to the Vivisvan, the sun god. And that was like an early edition. We had many, many. This has been going on. So the knowledge is available. Krishna's coming repeatedly. Sometimes the parent tirelessly puts up with the childish children who are not respectful and sometimes very defiant and could be very cruel at times to their parents. Many people just want to disown because they want to be independent and free. In the same way we have that same mentality of independence and freedom, but we're controlled. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. This material nature is controlled by Krishna. Prakrite kriyamanani guna karmani sarvashaha. And goodness, passion, and ignorance. There's all varieties because Krishna wants to give us what we want. You want goodness, you want to go to the demigods, you can go to the demigods. You can live a long life, you can have a beautiful palace, you can enjoy the things that you can't enjoy in this world, maybe because of limitations of I get old and die very quickly, sleeping so much, and then have to, as a child, I have Prahlad Maharaj explaining to all his class friends that, okay, you waste the first 10 years as a child, and then sporting with all the young kids. You know how the young children like to play sports. And then you have to work like a dog. You have to work really, really hard to try to get, and then you can retire at 65 when everything's falling apart. And it usually doesn't work out. Nothing works out. The material world is a place of misery and suffering. Abrahma Bhuvanaloka Punar Avartano Arjuna. From the highest planet, Brahmaloka, down to the lowest, all are places of misery. But in the idea that there's some happiness, we keep trying. We just keep, don't give up. They told Kamsa, don't, demigods are afraid of you. Vishnu can't do anything. He's in the heart of everyone. And whenever you go on the battlefield, the demigods run away. They pretend they can fight, but on the battlefield they cannot fight. So they're pumping up Kamsa. They go ahead, let's go fight all these demigods. And so we might envision demons, fierce-looking people with fangs and very distorted faces, but they could be very so-called good-looking people. Uh, it depends on their behavior. But most people in this material world are demons. What is a demon? One who defies the order of God or does not surrender fully to the Lord. Who's surrendered to the Lord? Rarely we find anyone. Bahunang jamanamante gyanavan mang prapajate. After millions and billions of births and deaths from a higher planet to the lower planet and unlimited universes in every form of life, now we have a human form of life. So human form of life is special. Why? Because we have intelligence, and we're supposed to utilize our intelligence for making the ultimate solution. Isn't it? What is the ultimate solution? No more birth, no more old age, no more disease, no more death, and living a life of eternity in a loving relationship with Krishna in the spiritual world. And it's not just some mythology or some fairy tale. This makes a lot more sense than everyone going to the moon and collecting dust. So many moon missions, and they spend billions and trillions, and they often crash, and we don't know who's taking the pictures. Maybe the demigods are taking pictures of the moon missions. I don't know. How do they send them? By WhatsApp or Twitter? Somehow or other, people are enamored by scientists and politicians and the bodily concept of life. So Krishna, he, out of his kindness, and Balaram, imagine Srimati Radharani's coming here, Lalita Vishaka, all the cowherd boys, all the Brijabasis come from the spiritual world. And even Sanatan, Rupa Goswamis, Lord Chaitanya's Leela. It's not that, just a few random people. Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivas, and all the intimate associates are Nitya Siddhas. That means they never condition in this material world. We may question, well, how is it they did this and did that? Very difficult to understand. Krishna, his Janma, what is it? Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tattata. If you understand the birth of Krishna and the mission of Krishna, and you try to understand the pure devotees who are living in this world, giving this transcendental knowledge, but we have this tendency to try to equate everyone on our level, that, I'm just a man or a person. I'm going to grow old and die. So how can this person be spiritual? So this is how much love Krishna has. Not only he comes, but his whole family comes to bring us back home to the spiritual world. But still we are being very neglectful and not seeing the importance of taking up this process of devotional service. So today is a very auspicious day, Janmashtami, simply by, it's in the scripture that one should celebrate Janmashtami and the holy days, especially Janmashtami, Radhastami, and Ramchandra's appearance day, and so many wonderful incarnations of the Lord, and all the pastimes are incredibly transcendental. But everyone who, those professors and so-called leaders, scientists, they say, no, no, it's all mythology, the Greek gods and the god of the wind, the god of the lightning, and this and that. These are primitive, uneducated people who are making up these grand ideas of gods. But obviously, not everything is. How can everything function so smoothly? Planets are rotating in space. The sunshine is providing enough heat. If it's a few degrees too hot or too cold, we complain. God, Krishna doesn't know how to control things from 93 million miles away. Why has he got the sun, beaming in so much? He should, tune it, fine tune it. Who's providing the rainfall, the variety of vegetative growth, all the fruits and flowers and all the necessities of mankind profusely? The water, the oceans, the clouds, the evaporation, the rain, the agriculture. Can they create grains to eat? How will the animals eat? How is the grass growing? So someone who's a little bit logical and reasonable will understand there's somebody in control here. It's not like it just happening by chance. By chance, I got a pair of eyes, a nose, a mouth, teeth, and ears, and I can hear, I can see, I can smell, and I can feel, and every single bone and every nerve and everything is connected so expertly. They can't even produce an ant. Give you an egg here, produce a chicken at least. No, nothing in the future will do it. We're getting close. We're splitting those atoms, but Krishna is the atom. So it's so wonderful to feel guided that my father, Srila Prabhupada, or the spiritual master, is guiding us so that we can get free of this whole. Imagine if you're in a horrible nightmare and the demons are ready to devour you, and someone wakes you up and you think, oh, thank you, and then you even forget about that nightmare. So we're living our lives in this world. We think this one life is everything. I don't know what happened in the past. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. What's important to me now is immediate gratification, pravriti and nivriti. So it's like the child doesn't want to go to school, doesn't want to learn anything because he just wants to play and enjoy life. But very quickly that enjoyment is gone as he grows and has responsibilities and sees that I have no education and now I have to suffer even more. So although we may, just like a patient who has a chronic or serious disease, doctor gives good medicine, that medicine is what? Hari Katha, Harinam Sankirtan. There are various processes for getting free of the illusion in the past, yagyas, sacrifices. In this age, Kali Kalir Dharma Krishna Nam Sankirtan. This is another Janmashtami, birth of Lord Krishna, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. And Golokir Premadan Harinam Sankirtan. So he's giving medicine, he's giving the formula, Krishna, and he's sending the guru, spiritual master, is non-different than Krishna in the sense that he simply repeats Krishna's words. He's carrying the message of Godhead, just like Narada Muni and all the great acharyas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Srila Prabhupada. They're all very anxious to help all the conditioned souls get free of suffering. Paradukha Dukhi. They have a great compassion and love. You find someone who's very compassionate, loving, caring for his family, for his nation, or for humanity. You think, oh, this is a good person, very good person. He cares for the animals, he cares for the birds, he cares for the environment, especially takes good care of his family. So a devotee, he has these beautiful qualities of tolerance, Titikshava Karunika, very merciful. He's friend to every living entity. The Goswamis had everything. They had great positions, fabulous wealth, big association in the aristocracy in the field of politics and or leadership of a nation. But they gave everything up. For what purpose? To scrutinizingly study all the revealed scriptures, although they are Nityasiddha, they have that, but they're showing by their example that one should study the Vedic literature and take guidance. And they were friends to everyone. And the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally, they were personal disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who instructed them personally, as Krishna instructed Arjuna, as he instructed Uddhava, as he instructed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So many divine lessons are there. And the more we're attracted to Krishna Katha, that means the symptoms of our disease are starting to loosen. If you're not attracted to hearing about Krishna and Krishna's pastimes, reading Krishna book, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, or keeping association with devotees, because devotees, what do? They chant about Krishna, they talk about Krishna, they sing and dance about Krishna, they take prasad together. And if you think, oh, I'm going to live on my own, I don't like devotees, I don't like organized religion, you're in luck. We're not organized. We're disorganized. So you're safe here, okay? We're not organized religion. But what is important is to choose good association, because if you have bad association, like Kansa, he was going in a good direction, but immediately talked to his counselors and ministers and other demonic friends, and first thing they told him, kill them all, kill the cows, kill the sadhus, kill the brahmins, and this way you'll kill Vishnu. Give us permission. We're following you. We're sold out to you. And demonic mentality is one against God consciousness. And if we may not have a taste, or we may not be experiencing hair standing on end and shivering and tears in the eyes or ecstatic emotions, but keep following the prescription by Srila Prabhupada. Every morning during Guru Vastakam prayers, we pray to the Lord about kirtan, always doing kirtan, worshiping the deities in the association of devotees. And this is the real life. Don't get sentimental and start thinking, oh yeah, but the mind is very tricky. Daivihesha gunamayi mama maya daratyaya. That this energy of Krishna is difficult to overcome. And it's not that well, why does Krishna send this Maya? No. Maya is there because we want to enjoy, we want to be separate from Krishna. We think, no, I want Krishna. So there's a process. If we really want Krishna, the process is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanavedanam. And this is the prayer that Prahlad Maharaj told Hiranyakashipu, all his class friends, that simply by hearing and chanting and remembering and serving the lotus feet, full of surrender to the Lord, then this is the perfection of life. Not punas charvita charvananam, again and again, chewing that which has already been chewed. How many ways are we going to have the so-called enjoyments of this material world, which are temporary and miserable? But if one gets that parang drishtva nivartate, you know what that means? Parang drishtva, that higher taste. This higher taste of spiritual life will give us much more happiness, much more satisfaction, so that we can continue making more and more progress. And very, very quickly, this life is passing, so better use every moment in Krishna's service. And the best mantra to chant is the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's a beautiful mantra, glorifying the Lord. It's transcendental, and it cleanses the heart, it cleanses the mind, and Krishna will reveal himself. Krishna will reveal himself to you by that devotion and surrender. Shri Krishna Janmashtami ki. So all of you are very fortunate. You get to hear now from Dina Bandhu Prabhu. And he loves glorifying Krishna on Janmashtami Day. So we'll ask him to come and to speak. Hare Krishna.
It was nice. Hare Krishna. Sri Krishna Janmashtami ki. So this is the day we've all been waiting for. The wonderful festival of Sri Krishna Janmashtami. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Svapadandigam Adhidanascha Ridamya Che Puna Puna Srimad Rupa Padambujo Yam Janma Janmani Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shiva Sri Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Panchakalpatrubhishta Kripasinnu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. So somehow, on this most auspicious holy day, they've asked one very fallen soul like myself to speak something. So we'll try to speak something in glorification of Sri Krishna. So if you ask any Brishbasi, well, let's start the other way. If you ask any Mathuravasi where Krishna was born, they will always say Mathura. But if you ask any Brishbasi, they will always say Vrindavan. Specifically Gokul. And in fact, in the 5th chapter of the 10th canto, in the first verse in the purport, Prabhupada explains that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti and Srila Jiva Goswami have proved, citing various scriptures, that Krishna was actually born as the son of Mother Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj. So we hear something about that. I also investigated some interesting details, because we were just hearing about Maharaj Ugrasen. And he was a great pious king. So how is it possible that he got such a cruel demon, Kamsa, as his son? But in the Puranas we find the story that one time Kamsa's wife, she went to visit her father. I believe he lived in Vidarbha. So while she was there in the palace, there was a beautiful garden. She was strolling in the garden. And there was a yaksha, whatever that is, some sort of being, called Dramila. Also, I've seen it also other places, Gobila. Anyway, as soon as he saw the beauty of Kamsa's wife, Ugrasen's wife, excuse me, he became totally enamored. And since he was a very powerful being, he changed his form to be just like Ugrasen. And he began strolling from the other end of the garden. So Ugrasena's wife, she is very happy. Oh, my husband has come. Beautiful garden, nice sunshine is there, birds are chirping, breezes are blowing. Uh, so then she began to get intimate with her husband, and she realized this is not her husband. But it was too late. She was already impregnated by this Rakshas. Hmm? So he's not actually the son of Ugrasen. Hmm? In fact, uh, his wife tried to destroy the garb in so many ways that finally the child within the womb said, I'm a great demon, Kalanemi. You cannot kill me no matter what you do. I've come to get even with Lord Vishnu uh, uh, for killing me. Hmm. So in this way, he's not actually the real son of Ugrasen. Kansa is the son of this Rakshas named Dramila. And I was always wondered, who's this Kalanemi? Somehow we never seem to run across this name much. Hmm? But somewhere in the 8th canto it describes, we remember when the gods and the demons decided to churn the ocean of milk, and then the nectar came out, and somehow Vishnu was very tricky in his form as Mohini. He cheated the the demons out of the nectar and gave it to the demigods. So then there was a big battle. Hmm? So in that battle, many, many powerful demons came, and one of those powerful demons was Kalanemi. He was riding on a lion. Hmm? Huh? And the demons, they called all these powerful demons like Kalanemi, etc., and they began to use their mystic powers and created so many illusions that the demigods were losing the battle. So they all cried out to help to Lord Vishnu. Because the demigods, when they're in real trouble, then they call out to Vishnu. Hmm? So Lord Vishnu appeared riding on Garuda. Hmm? You can imagine this wonderful Lord appearing, mounted on the back of Garuda, this wonderful eagle. So he attacked Kalanemi, and Kalanemi, riding on his lion, he took his spear and he hurled it with great force at Garuda. And Krishna caught that spear, turned around, and killed him and his lion carrier. So this was Kalanemi. So he later became Kans. Hmm. Anyway, many thousands of years ago, there was a great king named Devamida. Hmm. And Devamida, as was possible for Kshatriyas, they sometimes have many wives, he had 2 wives. One was a Kshatriya, which is natural, and one was a Vaishya, which is also brilliant. We can marry down, we can't marry up. Hmm. From the Kshatriya wife, he got a son named Surasen. Hmm. And Surasen's son was Vasudev. And actually, the Vishvasis explain his kingdom was not far from Mathura. There's a place called Pateshwar. I've never been there. Indradruna Maharaj took his party there, so he's been there before me. Sometime I have to go. So anyway, Vasudev was the son of Surasen. From the Vaishya wife, then he got a son named Parjanya Maharaj. Parjanya Maharaj means cloud. So Jiva Goswami explains in Gopal Champu, since Parjanya Maharaj was the son of the Vaishya wife, that he became the king of the cowherds. Hmm? And first he made his kingdom in Nandagram, and then later, due to disturbance from the demons, he settled in Gokul. Hmm? And he was just like a cloud. The clouds are evaporating water from the earth. They store it in the clouds, and then they rain it back down to benefit all the living beings on the earth. So Parjanya Maharaj, he was like that. He was collecting taxes from his citizens, but he reined it back down in so many welfare activities for the benefit of his citizens. And Parjanya Maharaj, he had 5 sons. Uh, Upananda, Abhinanda, and Nanda, Sunanda, and Nandan. And we see Nanda Maharaj, he's the middle son. So gradually, when uh, Parjanya Maharaj became very old, then he turned the kingdom over to his eldest son. That was the general parampara. The oldest son would become the next king. So Upananda became the king. But shortly after becoming the king, he called a meeting of all the cowherd people. And he began to describe the glories of Nanda Maharaj. In fact, it appeared that he has 5 mouths as he described Nanda Maharaj's glories. Nanda Maharaj became embarrassed hearing his glorification. He put his head down. And Upananda made a proposal that actually Nanda Maharaj, he's more qualified than me, and I'm Upananda. You know, just like our president, we call Ajaks. The vice president, we call Upajaks. So I'm Upananda. I'm the follower of Nanda. So actually, Nanda Maharaj should become our king. Now, we never see this. We always hear the stories of the palace intrigue, you know. The elder son's going to become the king, so the younger sons are making some conspiracy how to get rid of him. He knows they're making a conspiracy, he's making a conspiracy how to get rid of them, you know. But that the older son is suggesting, making a proposal that the younger son become the king. We never hear such a thing. But this is Braj. Braj is a magic place. And so all the cowherd people, they unanimously passed this resolution. And all the citizens of Braj were very, very happy. Our GBC, if they could pass a resolution that everybody was happy with, they'd also be very happy. But this is Braj. Magic things like this can happen in Braj. So Nanda Maharaj became the king of the cowherds. In a nearby village, there was a very pious gop named Sumukha. And he had a very, very beautiful daughter named Yashoda. Just see the names of the original Brijvasis. Yashoda, who gives yash. Yash means fame. Kirtida, we know Radharani's mother's name. Kirtida, who gives glory. Brisabhanu's mother is Sukuda, who gives happiness. All the original Brijvasis are all givers. Ab ye sab dene wala chala gaye, only lene wala reh gaye. All these givers have gone away, only takers are left. So, seeing the matching qualities between Yasoda and Nanda, they arranged the wedding with great pomp and ceremony. Nanda Maharaj was married with Yasoda. And under the reign of Nanda and Yasoda, all the Brijvasis were very happy. They had no problem whatsoever. They were very happy. Only one problem was there. Only one problem was beating on the hearts of all of the Brijvasis. Nanda and Yasoda had no child. Many years went by. If we read in Radha Krishna Ganu Deshadipika, it describes Nanda Baba's beard is salt and pepper. Just like all my peppers gone now. So we can understand he was a young guy. Even Yasoda has some little gray hairs. So no child was coming. His citizens, they would suggest you worship this Devi Devata, you do this yagya, you follow this vrat. Nanda Maharaj, he only had faith in his Shalagar Maharaj. If Lord Vishnu desires, I'll get son. If he doesn't, I won't get son. But to keep his citizens happy, he would follow their vrats. He would worship their Devi Devatas. He would perform their yagyas. but still no child came. Then one day, very strange lady appeared in Gokul. Huh? She had a long white braid. Hmm? She was dressed in saffron like a sadhvi. She had two children with her. Hmm? Uh, and all the Brishbasis, they very much respect sadhus and sadhvis. Hmm? I talk to many sadhus. In Braj, you can go anywhere and just, Radhisha Madhukari, Radhisha Madhukari. You'll get roti and, oh, such sweet rice. Braj sweet rice is unparalleled. Sometimes we go to life member's house, they make sweet rice. It's like, some rice is swimming in the milk or something. But the Brajbasi sweet rice, so thick you don't even need a bowl, just put it on the plate. Bang. Huh? You get all these things. They said, no other place like Braj. You can't do like that anywhere. Hmm? So they all came to to that strange lady. They bowed down and said, who are you? From where have you come? And what is your desire? And she said, my name is Purnamasi. And I'm the mother of, I'm from Avantipur, Ujjain. And I'm the mother of Sandipani Muni. Hmm? And these are my two grandchildren, Nandimukhi and Madhumanga. And I'm very expert in Jyotish. You know Jyotish? Jyoti means light. Those people who study the lights from the stars and moon and sun. Huh? Astrologers. And I have calculated that very soon Nanda and Yasoda will get a son. What did she say? Nanda and Yasoda will get a son. So I want to see that event. So you make a little grass hut for me to stay here on the bank of the Jamuna. I wish to observe that event. So they made a little Paran Kuti for Purnamasi and Nandimukhi and Madhumanga. And she began to stay in Gokul. One day when Nanda and Yasoda were alone, she came there and she said, actually, if you want to get a son, then you will have to follow the Ekadasi Vrat for 1 full year. If it's a contaminated Ekadasi, you follow on the Mahadwadasi like that. She said, you be very carefully followed. Because the Brishbasis are simple cowherd folks. They don't necessarily follow Ekadasi. Just like if you go on the Brajmandal Prikrama with Lokanath Swami Maharaj, on Ekadasi, you see Brishbasis, they're making their rotis. So now we're going to see the power of Ekadasi. If you're not following till now, this is a wonderful, auspicious day. You're in front of the most auspicious deities, Gornitai, Krishna Balaram, Radha Shamsundar, with so many wonderful Vaishnavas. You make a vow that I will follow. You learn from the older devotees here. Not that you have to completely fast, but no beans or grains. Prabhupada made it very simple for us. But you make vow that I will follow Ekadasi, because you're going to see the power of Ekadasi. So Nanda and Yasoda, very carefully, they followed all the Ekadasis for 1 full year. Then one day, or actually it was one night, it was in the month of Magh. Just like now we're in the month of Bhadra, second month of the rainy season, and it's very hot. But Magh means you can't imagine. It gets so cold. You're thinking, I know people that came into Braj, it's just hot, hot, and hottest. But actually there's a cold season also. So in the month of Magh, it was actually Magh Purnima. And Nanda Maharaj was sleeping on his bed with his nice quilt, nice warm quilt. And Yasoda, she was sleeping on her bed with her nice warm rajai. Suddenly Nanda Baba got dream. In that dream, he saw a beautiful blackish boy, just like a blue lotus flower, with curly black hair, beautiful lotus petal eyes. And that boy appeared within his heart. And as Nanda Maharaj watched in the dream, that boy went across the room and established himself in the heart of Mother Yasoda. As soon as he established himself in the heart of Mother Yasoda, Nanda Maharaj's dream broke. He sat up. His whole body was shivering with goosebumps. His hairs were standing on end. Tears were flowing from his eyes. He looked. Mother Yasoda had also woken up, and she was sitting on her bed. Her hairs were standing on end. She was shivering. They looked at each other, and they wanted to speak, but they're so excited. They can't speak. Nanda Baba said, and Mother Yasoda said, you. And Nanda Baba said, you. And Mother Yasoda said, they couldn't speak, but they both understand. They had the very same dream simultaneously at the very same time. And from that day, Mother Yasoda began to manifest all the symptoms of being with child. And all the old ladies of the village, they understood. In America, we say, you can fool some of the people all of the time. All of the people some of the time, but you can't fool mom. All the old mothers, they knew, Mother Yasoda's got child. The news spread through the village like garam jalebis. Everyone became so excited. Yasoda's going to get child. They couldn't wait. Finally, Yasoda, she became very big and pregnant. That reminds me of pastime. One time Prabhupada was in Hawaii, and after the Srimad Bhagavatam class, he came outside, and two of his lady disciples were sitting there, very big and pregnant. And just like the grandfather smiles on the granddaughter, Prabhupada smiled. And he said, a tree is most beautiful when it is full with fruit. And a woman is most beautiful when she's full with child. And somebody said, Prabhupada, when is a disciple most beautiful? And Prabhupada got very grave. He said, you do not know it? Everyone froze. Prabhupada paused. Then he said, when he follows the order of his spiritual master, then the disciple is most beautiful. He said it, and he repeated, a tree is most beautiful when it is full with fruit, and a woman is most beautiful when she's full with child. So in our old Vedic system, there used to be a separate house in the compound or a separate room within the house called Prasutigar, the maternity room, where the ladies, when they're pregnant, very pregnant, then they go to stay there. So Mother Yasoda, she began to stay in the Prasutigar, and there was one nurse. Because in the old days, we never went to the doctor for this thing. Just like my daughter, she was also born at home, and she's very happy and healthy. She has her own daughter now. And that naturopathic doctor who delivered her, he's one of these guys with a squeaky voice, you know. And he had those eyes, you never knew which eye to talk to, you know. And he said, I delivered 500 babies in my life, 500 babies. Only one time we went to the hospital. One time, 500 babies. It's a disease? Is it some sort of disease? No, it's the most natural thing going on all day, all over the world. What do you got to go to the hospital for? This is just money-making business. So there always in the village, there was the ladies who knew how to do everything. I read this midwifery is becoming very prominent again. It's rising in popularity. So that nurse, she began to stay with Mother Yasoda. One day, it was the 8th day uh, of the bright half of the month of Bhadra. Hmm? Or excuse me, dark half of the month of Bhadra. Uh, Krishnastami day. Hmm? That nurse, she went out to do some errands. And while she was out, she felt a little tired. This is, I think I'll take a snap. Hmm? You know, a snap, something between a sleep and a nap is called a snap. Huh? And she lay down and she fell fast asleep. Meanwhile, Mother Yasoda was waiting for the nurse to come, but no nurse came. Hmm? Huh? It became late at night. She tried to sleep. Somehow she can't sleep. It's a very restless night. This side, that side, this side, backside. She can't sleep. Hmm? Suddenly at the midnight, uh, she realized child is coming. Hmm? And she's never had child before in her life, and she's all alone. I lived here for 40 years in India. I see all the girls, they go home to their mother's house when they're going to have babies. They never had baby, but mother had so many babies, she knows what to do. They go to their mother's house, isn't it? Huh? But she's all alone. No nurse is there. Nobody is there. Hmm? Her heart was beating, bing, 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 bing. Somehow or other at the midnight, just like Panjagoda nicely described, you know, everything was peaceful. The kettle drums were beating. Then suddenly, from her womb came this beautiful baby girl. And from her heart came a beautiful blackish boy. Jiva Goswami describes in Gopal Champu, also in Nanda Vrindavan Champu, or Kavi Karnapur describes, Mother Yasoda gave birth to twins. But she just went through the trauma of childbirth all by herself. It's late at night, midnight. She fell asleep. She had no idea what happened. Meanwhile, as we heard, Vasudev, uh, uh, that midnight, that beautiful four-armed child, just like we heard, he had his golden helmet and golden jewelry and kostuba money and so many things. Beautiful pitambar dhoti. Children don't born like that. He appeared outside the womb like this. Then they prayed, you hide this form, otherwise he wanted to assure his parents, no, actually I'm the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hmm? He said, now you take me to Gokul and exchange me with the daughter of Mother Yasoda. So then somehow or other, all the chains and doors of the palace automatically open. Hmm? One time, Brother Govinda Maharaj was very merciful. He gave English class for us on Janmashtami. So he's talking about the doors automatically opening. Hmm? If we know Radha Govinda previously, he would just go in Bihar, sit behind some river with 4 poles of bamboo and a little kapra, a little bit of cloth over his head and speak about Bhagavatam. Somebody decided this guy should go to America and speak. So he'd never been in an airplane, he'd never been to America. He got out of the plane, he saw the door slide shut in front of him. He had his bags and the door slided shut. He didn't see any button, he didn't see any way it was supposed to open. He just stood there, looking. And then somebody walked in front of the doors automatically open. Then he ran outside. So this automatic doors, this is not a new thing. You think it's new thing. This is from 5,000 years. Automatically, all the doors in Kamsa's palace opened. And we heard how Anantashesh appeared. But this is second month of rainy season. Jamuna was full. As Vasudev entered the water, he was raising that. He had actually we say basket because we don't have, for transcendental technology, for modern technology, this is a very nice language, but for modern technology, it was a surpi. The surpi is a very simple thing that's kept around the farmhouse. It's a little wicker basket like this, shaped like this, and you put the grain and you throw the grain up in the air and the wind blows away all the chaff. Very simple thing. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He should go on a golden chariot. He came in a little serpy, carried by Vasudeva. And Vasudeva raised it higher and higher and higher. Jamuna was getting higher and higher. It's rainy season. He began to scream, koi lo, koi midalala lo, koi lo. That Ghat became known as Koi Lagat. Used to be a dirty, neglected place, but Braj Foundation has fixed it up. Beautiful dioramas, beautiful ghats, everything very beautiful there. So that became Koi Lagat. He said, somebody take my child. Then Krishna put his foot outside and touched Jamuna, and she came down ankle deep. She wasn't rising from flood waters. She was rising with desire to touch the lotus feet of Krishna. Then he passed over to Gokul. And everyone was sound asleep. He came into the palace. And in the dark, he couldn't see. But actually, when he put that child, Vasudeva, that Vasudeva merged into the Brajanandan Sham Sundar, who was already there. Prabhupada describes in Krishna book that when Krishna takes his incarnation, all the expansions and avatars merge within him. So Vasudeva, he merged into the body of Brajanandan Sham Sundar, and Vasudeva took that girl back to Mathura. Anyway, back to Braj. So, in the morning, all the birds began to make their sounds, and the peacocks began to cry. Meow, meow, meow. Suddenly, the nurse woke up. She saw it's daytime. It's already morning. She slept left Mother Yasoda alone. She ran to the Prasuti-gar. She opened the door. She came inside. She saw lying by the side of Mother Yasoda this beautiful blackish boy like a monsoon cloud with curly black hair, beautiful lotus petal eyes, and tiny little fingers and toes, beautiful lines in his hands. In fact, one of his fingers is caught in the curls of his hair. He can't get it out. So that nurse, she just squealed with delight, and Mother Yasoda woke up. She saw that child lying next to her bed. She just grabbed him to her breast. Oh, he's so soft like butter, and so beautiful bluish color like black musk. And beautiful lotus petal eyes, beautiful curly hair, beautiful fingers and toes. She was just so enchanted with that child. Then that nurse, she ran to the Goshala where Nanda Maharaj and all the cowherdmen were milking the cows. As soon as he got there, all the cowherdmen and Nanda Maharaj, they saw the nurse. They all stood up, and she opened her mouth to make an announcement, but she's so ecstatic, she can't talk. No sound came out. The cowherdman said, Yasoda had child? A son? Nanda Maharaj almost fainted. He almost fainted. Then he became very worried. Oh no, we have to decorate the cows to give charity to the Brahmins. We have to arrange a feast. We have to do this. And there's all the other cowherdmen, Upananda said, look, you go see your child. We'll take care of everything. Why are we here? In our old Vedic system, all the brothers and their wives all lived together, and they helped one another and assisted one. You go see your child. We'll take care of everything. Why are we here for? So Nanda Maharaj, he wasn't even walking. He was swimming in the ocean of transcendental bliss. He finally got to the Prasuti-gar. He came inside, but Mother Rohini has got there first, and she has a curtain like this. And she has her hand like this. Just like if you go to Gokul, you'll see they have a temple there. As soon as you come, oh, this guy's from Bombay. He's got a lot of money. They close the curtain. You give some donation, we'll open the darshan. So this has been going on since 5,000 years. Nanda Maharaj, he took the golden necklace from his neck. And he placed it on Rohini's neck. And she pulled aside that curtain. Nanda Maharaj, he saw this beautiful child, just like a blue lotus flower. Beautiful lotus petal eyes, curly black hair, tiny little hands and feet, so delicate, so soft. In fact, his finger's still stuck in his curl. He can't get it out. And Nanda Maharaj, he broke open his treasure house and began to give charity. And Nanda Maharaj, he gave so much charity, he gave so much charity that those that were receiving were feeling we're not worthy to receive so much charity. Did we ever get an experience like that? Janmashtami comes, we go to our best donor. We know we're going to get a nice donation. He gives us an envelope all sealed, Swamiji, take this. We go back to our office, we open it up, and we look. Looks like 1 or 2 zeros are missing here. Like that we got experience. But this is Braj. Magic things can happen in Braj. Nanda Maharaj, he gave so much charity. He gave so much charity, just like even the donor, he's also feeling trouble. Oh, it's Janmashtami, I should give a nice donation. But the tax people raided me last week. That balloon payment is due in 1 month. What can I do? But Nanda Maharaj, with open arms, he gave charity. And great joy, he gave charity. So much that the people who receive it thinking, we're not worthy to receive so much charity. And then, we'll tell one thing. Is now, what chapter we're in? 10th canto, like 46 or 7, something like that. Anyway, another 40 chapters, we'll get to chapter 86, where it describes how Devaki, she said, look, for your teacher, you brought back his dead sons. What about my 6 sons? I'm your mother. What about me, Because it describes how then Krishna brought the 6 sadgarb, that was the word you wanted, sadgarb, the 6 garbs, pregnancies. That as soon as they appeared, milk began to flow from Devaki's breast, and the 6 sons, they drank that milk and achieved liberation. Because that milk was the verse says it was the prasad of Lord Krishna. So Sanatana Goswami says how it was a prasad. Because actually, tiny little detail that I also forgot. Because Devaki was singing that now Nanda Baba, Vasudev, is going to take the baby across the river a long way to Gokul. So that he shouldn't feel any disturbance. She fed him milk from her breast. She suckled him before he went to. So that milk was the prasad of Vishnu, Vishnu prasad. So all the sons drank that milk and immediately became liberated. Anyway, Nanda Maharaj was just in ecstasy. And all the Brishbasis came running. And seeing the beautiful child, they were also in ecstasy. And they began to sing and dance. Nandagara Nandabayo Jai Kaniya Lalaki. Gar means home. Nandake and Nandagara Nandabayo. Bayo means brothers. It's in vocative tense, I guess. They're calling, brothers, so Bayo, brothers. Now there's bliss in Nanda Maharaj's house. His Kanaya Lal has been born. Nandagara Nandabayo Jai Kanaya Lalaki. Nandagara Nanda. Nandagara Nandavayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki 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 Nandagara Nandavayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Oh Nandagara Nandavayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Hati Dini Koradini Ordini Palki Hati Dini Koradini Ordini Palki Nanda Maharaj is in bliss. He's giving charity. He gave Hati, like Hastinapur. Hati means elephant. He gave elephants. And Gora, horses. And when he ran out of horse and elephants, then he gave Palakan, Palki. Hati Dini Gora Dini Ordini Palki Hati Dini Hati Dini Gora Dini Ordini Palki Nandagara Nandavayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Nandagara Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Nandagara Nandavayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Nandagara Nandavayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Nandagara Nandavayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Hati Dini Gora Dini Ordini Palki Hati Dini Gora Dini Ordini Palki Nandagara Nandavayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Oh Nandagara Nandavayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki 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 Oh Nandagara Nandavayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jawanin ko hati gore budin ko palki Juan, almost like English, to the young people, he gave horse and elephant. And to the Buddhan, the old people, he gave palki. Juan ko hati gore Buddhan ko palki. Juan ko hati gore Buddhan ko palki. Nandagara Nandavayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Oh Nandagara Nandavayo Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Oh Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Jai Kaniya Lal Ki Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kanaya Lal Ki. Oh Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kanaya Lal Ki. Hati Dini Gora Dini Ordini Balki. Hati Dini Gora Dini Ordini Balki. Oh Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kanaya Lal Ki. Oh Nandagara Nanda Bayo Jai Kanaya Lal Ki. Jai Kanaya Lal Ki, Jai Kanaya Lal Ki. Oh, Jai Kanaya Lal Ki, Jai Kanaya Lal Ki. Nanda Gara Nanda Bayo Jai Kanaya Lal Ki. Joanin Ko Hati Gore Budin Gopal Ki. Joanin Ko Hati Gore Budin Gopal Ki. Oh, Nanda Gara Nanda Bayo Jai Kanaya Lal Ki. Oh, Nanda Bayo Jai Kanaya Lal Ki. Oh, Nanda Bayo Jai Kanaya Lal Ki. Nanda Bayo Jai Kanaya Lal Ki. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Evo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo, 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 Nitagor, Haribo. Nitagor, Haribo, 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 Gor, Haribo. Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Gaur Haribo. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Sila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Sila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Krishna Kanaya Lala Ki. Oh, Nanda Ke Lala Ki. Bolo Janmashtami Maha Mahotsav Ki. Jai Jai Sri Ram. Jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Rama Hare Ram Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Ram Rama Rama Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare